Okay, first step for this is you're just going to snap off the stems. Of course, you're going to clean the mushrooms first. And you just kind of rock it back and forth a little bit. You get these stems you can use for something else. The mushrooms are going to go into butter in just a second. You got a pan that's warming up. It's got a little bit of butter in it. I'm going to add a little sprinkle of paprika to it. And then I'm going to put the mushrooms in, cap side down. And a pan is on a heat of 5 out of 1 to 10, so I'm going to cook them fairly slowly. I want to cook them all the way through, but I don't want to have them black on one side and raw in the middle, so we're going to cook them fairly slowly. We're going to turn them over a few times during the cooking process. You want to make sure that they're evenly cooked. If you need to, you can turn the heat down just a little bit. You want to make sure that they're absolutely evenly cooked and they have some really nice browning thanks to the butter and the paprika. Okay, when you're satisfied that you've got enough browning on them, move them over to a saucer and let them cool. Let them cool. Yeah. Into the same pan that had the butter that the mushrooms were cooked in, I'm going to put this brunoise of red bell pepper. We're just going to give this a little quick cook. Not looking really to get this thoroughly cooked. We just want to absorb some of those mushroom and paprika and butter flavors and give it just a little bit of color. And this is going to be used in a few minutes here. You'll see how. Okay, we've got the bell pepper that was cooked, and we've got a sprig of rosemary here. You just run your fingers against the grain down the stem and pick off all of the needles. Really, it's like pine needles, right? You just need a few of these like this, and then what you're going to do is load them into a sieve like this. So it's a deep bottom sieve is good because it can go into the oil without wasting. Now we've got essentially a deep fryer set up here. It's just a little bit of oil that's been heated to let's see, what is it? Yeah, about almost 400 degrees. It's pushing 400 degrees. It's going to be a lot of splattering. This is the rosemary needles. You're just going to cook these until they're crisp. 20 seconds, something like that. They're done. We're going to drain them on some paper towel and turn our attention now to the next. Okay, I've got a block of cheese here. It's similar to Monterey Jack. What I'm using as a tool is an apple corer. After you pull the core off of this thing, this is probably too tall, depending on your block of cheese. So you're going to look for a good place to cut it. Make it a reasonable height, about like this, okay? We have another element here. I've got a plain white plate. I'm taking a commercially prepared reduction of balsamic vinegar with some white truffle in it. Put it on there, and then I'm putting sesame seeds in it. Okay, it's a nice little touch in the corner of the plate. Takes almost no time. Okay, now we've got the plate going here. Got a torch. Got this cheese that I took. I'm going to heat it up, melt the cheese, and I'm going to use this to stick it to the plate. Heat up the cheese a little bit, heat up the plate a little bit. You may have to do this a couple times to get it enough, get it the right consistency. When it's right and it melts onto the plate, that's it. Okay, when it's right, don't worry about the little blurbs around the edge. We're going to take care of those in just a minute. Now what you need to do is let this cool completely. You can either stick it in the freezer or you can just leave it sit for a little while. But this needs to stick like glue. The cheese has to melt onto the cold plate as it cools off. So once this is set and you can touch it and see it's not going anywhere else. Now you can take these bell peppers. We're kind of creating the artificial soil around here. If you have to use your imagination a little bit. And these rosemary sprigs look like pine needles that were deep fried. These are quite delicious, by the way. And we don't want it to go too far into the middle of the plate like that. And then we take one of these mushroom caps that we previously cooked and you place it over the top of the cheese like it was a stem. Now I've got this little edible garden. And just straighten it out a little bit. That's fine. You've got this little edible garden up. You can see this in the video. Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.